Brother Chinyang's case is indeed strange. But ultimately, he believed the client's words. He was led by the client. So in daily repairs, one cannot fully rely on the client's description. Like today's fault. The client reported that a socket that was working fine suddenly had no power. Moreover, he was shocked while plugging in his phone charger. Measuring the voltage of this junction box, all three wires have power. If only listening to the client's description, he suspected there was a loose connection. Thus, the neutral wire could also be live. But is that really the case? Let's take a look. There are two wires inside. He wanted to separate the wires. The black wire next to it is a new power line run by the client. This wire is an exposed wire. It runs through a conduit, then leads to the staircase. A surface-mounted 5-hole socket was installed above. But the front socket was working fine. Suddenly, it stopped working. To handle this fault, he needs to separate all the wires at the junction. He needs to check which wire is the main one. This conduit contains 3 wires. 1 red and 2 white. The lower conduit also has 1 red and 2 white wires. After separating, he will measure the voltage again. To see which wire has power, this one. The red wire has a voltage of 220 volts. This wire has 36 volts, and this one has 40 volts. Using a voltage tester, he measures the minimum voltage on each wire. Then he checks with a multimeter. The voltage across these 2 wires is 125 volts. The voltage is insufficient. He measures this wire again. The voltage between the hot wires is over 70 volts. The meter is set to the 10-volt range to measure the voltage between the 2 white wires, which is 0 volts. This is quite strange. Both wires have a voltage of around 40 volts to ground. So why is there no voltage between the 2 wires? This is an original junction box. There are 2 conduits inside. One goes up. One goes down. The upper one goes down. The lower one goes up. Could it be that this socket receives power from above? Such fault phenomena are actually easy to handle. Since the neutral wire here is extended, he looks for its upstream, this original junction box. In the middle of the staircase. He goes up from the middle of the staircase. He arrives at this room. Is there a socket here? Register 1, there is power over there, right? Ah. Yes. What about here? Is there a socket here? No. Isn't this the only socket? He forgot to find out while looking for the book. Then he opens this socket to see if there are wires going down. There are 2 wires inside. There is a place where they connect downwards. But there is no extension. So he continues to disassemble. He opens this socket. Inside are just 3 wires. Or he opens this air conditioning socket. There is no place to extend either. He has taken apart 5 or 6 sockets. All the connections inside are the same. There is no extension. Moreover, the wire colors are all standard. All are red, blue and yellow. And the junction box below has 1 red and 2 white wires. He has opened almost all the sockets. He still hasn't found any wires going down. This is strange. Now he measures this wire. The red wire is normal. The 2 white wires have a voltage still between 30 and 40 volts. The wire colors are different. Could there be a junction in between? This conduit leads upwards. Where does it lead to? So he wants to use a wire locator to check. To see if he can find the junction box for this wire. This wire locator can be operated live. He opens the signal transmitter for under 400 volts. Then he uses this receiver to search for signals. Clearly, this line is going upwards. Moreover, the signal is strong to the left as well. The signal value shows 201. However, the line can't be on the first floor. He needs to check the second floor. He suspects that the original socket goes down from this room. But once he reaches this room, the signal disappears. It seems the original socket isn't here. He searches outside again. When he finds this switch, the signal value is over 360. But the adjacent switch has no signal. Now he's even more puzzled. Isn't the one below a socket? Why is there a switch above it? Looking at the wires in this switch, there's one yellow wire and two white wires. The color of the wires in this switch matches those downstairs. At this point, he seems to understand. He checks the middle socket again. Is this really a socket? He feels like this is a midway switch. He measures this white wire. The voltage is over 100 volts now. Previously, it was over 40 volts. None of the three wires above have power. This can't be used. If it is indeed a dual control as he suspects, then why did the customer say it was working fine before? There's another switch downstairs on the first floor. He turns this one on as well. It is a dual control. It is a switch. Where? Are you up there working? Yes. This wire is still connected, right? How is it wired? It comes from above. Clearly, these are three switches controlling one light. Why are they connected as a power line? Moreover, this wiring method couldn't have worked properly before. Now, he can't explain it to the customer. The customer simply says, it was working fine before. To verify for the customer, he asks the customer to pull this wire from downstairs. He wants to see if the wires in the upstairs switch move. It starts moving, but he wonders if it's dual control. It isn't moving, so he questions who connected this incorrectly. Hey. Who connected this for you? He knows their speed is like this. It can't be used at all. Used? What does that mean? This switch here is also a switch. This area is also a switch. These three switches control it. It never lit up, right? He knows how long it took to check. This is a switch. Originally, it had no power. This socket had power before. What power? It had power before. How could it have power? It should have direct power. This is a leakage issue. The neutral wire is mixed together. This socket can't be used. He feels frustrated explaining it. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's impossible to explain. If he wants to turn this switch into a socket, there's only one way. He needs to remove this wall lamp. Combine the control wire and the neutral wire inside. This lamp hasn't been used before. He combines the control wire and the neutral wire inside. This effectively connects the neutral wire to the switch above. Thus, he connects one of the dual control wires with this yellow wire, bringing the neutral wire to the middle switch. Now, this switch has both a live wire and a neutral wire. Each conduit has an extra wire. These two wires can be ignored. The remaining live and neutral wires are connected together. Thus, the socket will have power. Then he can also install a 5-hole socket downstairs. Originally, it was a hidden socket. The customer bought an exposed one, so he will make do with it. This should have been a simple fault. Instead, the customer led him step by step into a trap. He now deeply understands Brother Chin Yang's malfunction. Step by step, he was led into the situation by the client. The client's words are truly deceiving. All right. Thank you all for watching. He appreciates everyone's guidance.